You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. Today, we are breaking down a massive point of friction for church finance committees across the state: the high-stakes balancing act between your annual premiums and your out-of-pocket deductibles. Let's get into it. Not long ago, a finance committee gathered at a church just outside of Temple, Texas. The tension in that room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Like most churches right now, they were already feeling the squeeze of inflation. Utilities were up, basic building maintenance was up, and the cost of replacing a standard commercial air conditioning unit had nearly doubled from just a few years prior. Then the church insurance renewal landed on the table, and nobody liked the numbers looking back at them. One committee member pointed right at the premium increase and asked, "How in the world are we supposed to afford this?" Another shook his head and replied, "We may not have a choice." They thought they were having a conversation about price. What they were actually having was a high-stakes conversation about risk management. You see, a lot of folks operate under the misconception that your premium is just a flat fee to buy an insurance policy. In reality, your premium is the exact dollar amount an insurance company charges to take a portion of your financial risk off your shoulders. In Texas, because commercial carriers are staring down billions of dollars in hail, hurricane, freeze, and liability claims, that price has skyrocketed. When budgets get tight, it is incredibly tempting for a board to chase the lowest premium possible. It feels like good stewardship in the moment, but you have to understand the insurance version of shrinkflation. Cheap premiums are almost always achieved by quietly transferring that massive financial risk right back onto your church's shoulders. And the main vehicle they use to do that is your deductible structure. Most Texas churches no longer have simple flat deductibles like a $5,000 or $10,000 responsibility. Instead, carriers have shifted heavily toward percentage deductibles for wind and hail. Let's do some quick math. If your church carries a 5% wind and hail deductible on a $2 million property policy, your out-of-pocket responsibility after a major storm isn't $5,000. It is $100,000. The room in Temple got dead silent when they realized that one bad afternoon of Texas hail could hook the church for six figures before the insurance company pays a single dime toward repairs. Worse yet, those cheap policies often switch your coverage from replacement cost to actual cash value. If your roof is 15 years old and gets totaled by hail, an actual cash value policy subtracts years of depreciation from your payout. A $250,000 roof replacement might only net you a fraction of that in a claim check. You are left trying to raise tens of thousands of dollars just to get the tarp off your sanctuary. True stewardship isn't about finding the cheapest piece of paper. It's about calculating what we call the total cost of risk. That means looking at the worst day scenario and asking the hard questions. Can our church reserves realistically absorb a six-figure deductible without shutting down our youth ministry or our community outreach? Automated software and quick online quote platforms can't answer that for you. A chatbot isn't going to sit down with your committee on a Tuesday night and help you balance your real-world risk tolerance against your actual ministry budget. Texas church insurance isn't really about protecting brick and mortar. It's about protecting your mission. Don't buy a cheap policy that leaves your church completely exposed. Meet with an advisor who understands the risks that Texas churches face. If you're ready to find the right balance between a sustainable premium and a safe deductible. Connect with our True Texas Church insurance specialist today at insurancefortexans.com. Let's review your policy together and make sure your deductible isn't a ticking time bomb for your budget. And to get the full guide on navigating Texas church insurance in general, grab your copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith Stewardship and Insurance Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, your church's mission is too important to leave to chance.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.